Welcome back, everyone. So, as you can see, this is quite a fun article. I guess in some cases, maybe drinking on the job could lead to some kind of disaster or terrible situation. But in this case, it was fairly inconsequential. And we don't even know the full details of exactly what happened. And a government worker, I think down in Gwangju, posted a picture to his or her social media. The picture was of some work documents and a can of beer. And somehow somebody who also works at the same place caught wind of the picture, scooped it off the internet and posted it on a site called Blind. This is a sort of anonymous site where people can discuss their work environment, make perhaps complaints, raise issues, get feedback from other people. So they were a bit concerned about the situation that looked like somebody drinking on the job. The article proposes, that this was out of office hours, and the worker appeared to be alone in the office. Maybe they were even just doing some kind of repetitive sort of routine task, something that they could easily do in their sleep or even after a little drink or two. So maybe it was a victimless crime. However, some other people hypothesized that maybe this was an instance of someone just sitting in their office claiming overtime whilst actually not doing any work, just chilling and having a drink. However, when they tracked down the employee in question, he or she, we don't know, they claimed that they had already left the office and sort of clocked out. They weren't on the job and they just popped back into the office to pick up something and snapped a quick picture of a beer that they had cracked open just before they were going to leave the office. So they at least claim there was no actual drinking on the job. What the truth is exactly, I guess it's kind of hard to tell, really. No one else was there. No one else saw what happened. So kind of hard to prove one way or the other. So I guess just a fun little article, hopefully.
Correct.
There were no actual consequences. It wasn't anything too serious.
A few slurred words on the paperwork.
Yes. I wonder, did they check the work later to see if he'd made any
Did I write that? Yeah.
So let's get straight into our questions.
Okay.
So one of the issues in the article is about overtime, whether or not this worker was doing overtime. What do you think of people who come to work a lot on their days off? What do you think their reasons are for doing so?
I think there's definitely a lot of social pressure, like workplace pressure, I should say, pressure from the workplace to make them come into work on their days off. Like, oh yeah, you go home, we'll just, work alone without you. We won't be able to get this work done and you can rest while we're all slaving away, that type of stuff. So I think there's definitely manipulation. There's definitely a social aspect because if your manager's not leaving, maybe you can't leave either, even though you literally have no work to do. And thirdly, they just don't want to go home.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that one. Yeah.
I think sometimes I see people, I'm like, you just don't want to go home. You want to stay around this place where you have found a refuge from whatever is happening at home to make you think that way.
Oh, yes, perhaps a slightly darker reason there.
Yeah, exactly. And it's typically, the ones that I feel this the most from are typically older men.
The hiding from the wife trope.
Yeah, I've seen that happen more than one occasion, so it's kind of a stereotype now.
Oh.
And I shouldn't, but I think at least that could be a reason. Maybe not this person, though.
Yes, hopefully not.
Although I do not believe their excuse at all.
It did sound a bit suspicious.
Yeah, like who cracks open a beer at their workplace when they're going to go home? Like, crack it open at home. Why would you crack it? And you're just going to drink it on the street?
That's a bit awkward, isn't it?
Yeah, or take a subway or bus, you can't. So, or drive, definitely can't. So it's like, what were you planning to do? Anyways.
Anyways.
Suspicious.
working from home, let's say, if you are working from home, do you think it's more acceptable to have some alcohol during work hours? Why or why not?
So maybe at some point in the future, having a little bit of alcohol for those who can control themselves is not going to be a bad thing. Somehow it'll be like a work perk. Like, oh yeah, you can have there's even workplaces out there, especially IT field, that have beer refrigerators, and you can have 2 a day in the US. And I think that's completely fine if that's the culture. But man, if it's not, or if you can't control your alcohol intake, just wait till you get off work, whether you're home or not. It doesn't matter about home or workplace. Just follow the rules and then follow what is best for you to do for your work.
Because I was thinking about me, because technically, I do a lot of materials prep for my classes, and most of that I'm sitting at home doing it.
Correct.
And
Are
there
you
are
paid for it?
Yes, technically.
Okay,
I get paid higher
okay.
for the book discussion classes because I make the materials.
Oh, well.
So it's kind of
It's not
weird.
on the clock work, though.
No, it's not on the clock work. And I have had, a beer sitting there typing up vocabulary lists because it is kind of mindless. That's the mindless part of the job, just listing words and their definitions. I have had a beer while doing that.
I think you have to kind of be on the clock for it to be, because it's your personal time, which you can use for making materials or not in the end.
True enough.
Yeah, I think you're fine. You can even
Fingers
have 2
crossed.
beers if you want to. Make that list really spicy.
Yes. Find out what exciting and creative ways I can define words in.
While drunk.
While drunk.
See, I think that would be crossing the line, working while drunk.
Oh yeah, if I was plastered, I couldn't do it. It would just be a mess.
I do want to see that now, though.
Yeah, I'd more than slip up. Anyway, you guys, don't snitch on me. Don't you go snitching on me. Go down to the vocabulary list. Unfortunately, this is not one that I wrote, so it's not that creative or exciting. But it's still very useful, very productive. Memorize a few words and then come back and practice with us again next time. See you. Bye-bye.
Public servant.
Public servant.
Slip up.
Slip up.
Tick all the boxes.
Tick all the boxes.
Discreet.
Discreet.
Impulsively.
Impulsively.